ascend the mountain effortlessly, your spells protecting you from the stinging Himalayan winds. There is such confidence in your step, such unyielding assurance. How you have changed in the 20 years since you first dared these trackless peaks. But Dr. Stephen Strange was a mere man then, bitter, spiteful, avaricious, and grim as death. Now, so the whispered legends would have us believe, you are far more. Now you are called Master of the Mystic Arts. Since assuming this majestic title, you appear to have ripped bile, malice, and greed from your heart. A pity you have not yet learned to smile. So you walk on, a dour child dancing with the shades of memory, the image of the wretch you once were, reflected in the blinding snows. Remember, a brilliant, vain, and egotistical surgeon who scorned Hippocrates and worshipped Mammon. Remember the automobile accident that damaged the nerves in the surgeon's precious hands. The icy disbelief as he learned he would never perform an operation again. Ah, Stephen, how desperation gripped you then, driving you from self-pity to alcohol, and finally to the Orient, where you pursued inarticulate rumors, midnight fancies, and a magic that could cure your ruined hands. Magic. It suffuses this ancient temple still. Magic! Not the parlor tricks of the Western illusionist with his half-shod women and rabbit-stuffed hats. Not the vulgar spectacle of the Eastern yogi who gambles across hot coals proclaiming his enlightenment. Magic. Rare and ineffable, it cuts you like a scalpel, filling you with an ecstasy that borders on pain, and a pain so sweet it could be called bliss. It is the magic of a man whose scattered followers knew him only as the Ancient One. A man you called Master. He left you, Stephen. Left this plane of existence years ago. Yet you feel his presence here as plainly as you did when you first staggered through these sacred halls. The Ancient One saved me, you once told a disciple. He took an animal and made him a man. He took a man and raised him up, recast in perfection's image. Now he gave me so much to be thankful for. And perhaps it is to give thanks that you have been drawn back here on the anniversary of the Master's death. Death. Can we call it death when a centuries-old Sadguru takes leave of his body and merges with creation itself? When an ideal man cuts loose the limitations of the flesh and becomes one with all that is. But think, Stephen, if he is everywhere, in everything, then he is here as well. His words echo around you, imprinted upon the ether, words spoken often and wisely. Only in silence, he used to say, can the deafening roar of the infinite be heard. In memory of what your master was, in honor of what he is, kneel once more before him and open your heart to his deafening silence. Very impressive, Stephen. Although deep in trance, you remain alert to every breath and shadow. Attacked, you are calm protection. Attacking, you are casual efficiency. How simple it is for you to conjure a spell that immobilizes your adversary, Simpler still to pierce his mystic shields and reveal that the one you face is truly three. Sadhus of the mountains they are, wandering ascetics who have spent untold years pursuing that elusive beast called wisdom. But in his upward climb, the aspirant unlocks many doors of the soul. And there is none more dangerous than the door to the fourth plane of consciousness, the realm from which all magics emanate. Enchantment is intoxicating, Stephen, even to those well-versed in its ways. Without a master's guidance, the purest of heart becomes drunk after one sip from the cup of miracles. So it was with these besotted unfortunates. But the great Dr. Strange does not see them as such. He sees only fools revealed in Agamotto's light. Dangerous fools who would desecrate a shrine in their attempt to leech the Sorcerer Supreme's power. Shine your rays, you command the all-seeing eye, into every black corner of their minds. They must understand their folly. More important, they must never breach my master's chamber again. I fear time will disappoint you, Stephen. No memory of this defeat will haunt their days and hound their nights. These three will walk this way again, and they will be far wiser for it. The sadhus scamper, frightened mice down the mountainside. Satisfied and proud, you watch their flight. How often the Ancient One chided you about this elevated sense of self. Your ego is a formidable block of wood. I whittle and whittle, my blade grows dull, and the block remains. Remember the living example he held up to you from your very first day of discipleship. Remember the unassuming votary who washed the master's clothes, bathed his infirm body, ministered to his every need without a word of thanks given or requested. Amir, or the hermit, the silent one, the living shadow. He who now glides from the shadows to greet you. Years like snowdrifts have blown by since the Ancient One's ascension. Yet Amir has remained here, a ruin among ruins, attending those few souls who come on holy pilgrimage. His voice is soft, a wind chime, and you repress an urge to ask him to speak up. You respect Amir, yet something in his bland servility, his ever-smiling eagerness to please, as always, and even now you are ashamed to admit it, annoyed you. He bows before you, and your annoyance is drowned in an ocean of warm remembrance. This stooped little old man, yellowed like an old book with age, is a link to the Master, to your days of clumsy, callow, exhilarating apprenticeship. So you strain to hear him, at first bewildered by the slow parade of whispers. Then you see the shrouded object held in pulsed hands decipher two words: Master and gift. A gift from the Master, you finally realize. Left by him, for you, years before his passing, with instructions for its presentation on this day alone. A blessing, you think, plucked like a rabbit out of time's hat. A box. New York City, Greenwich Village, sanctum, security, confusion. A box. For 3 hours you have examined it from every vantage point. Yet you've sensed no magical emanations, no latent spells, no astral messages. So you begin again. Slowly. Slowly. The outside is carved wood, simple and unadorned. No inscriptions, no runes gauged into its surface. a gentle spell to turn it back on its hinges. And you find yourself. Your own frustration and curiosity reflected back at you through a maze of mirrors. A maze of mystery. Why, Stephen? Why would the Ancient One set this aside for you and then leave no clues to its meaning? Why was Hamir ordered to keep the box hidden until now? Why? No secret, you think, is impenetrable. For every spell there is a counterspell. Yet both secret and spell continue to elude you. So you wander the streets as you did in your days of drunken dereliction. Wander in search of a stubborn answer that refuses to bend to your will. The man of old would have retreated into the bottle. The mystic of today returns to his task with renewed vigor. There is no grimoire, you say aloud. For your own benefit? Or are you trying to impress the box itself? I haven't studied. No incantation, however elaborate, has failed to pass my lips. Men call me wizard, wonder worker, warlock, sorcerer supreme! Failure. Meditation. Rumination. Lucibration. Frustration. For 4 weeks now, you have scoured arcane volumes, from the Book of Asmodeus to the secret teachings of Zoroaster, with no success, exhausting every enchantment you've ever known, and 100 more newly learned. 40 days pass, and 40 nights. You have gone without sleep, without food, without satisfaction, without pride. What are you, magic mirror? You muse. My temptation? The devil mocking my achievements, seducing my weaknesses? You stare into its glassy depths and see your every base desire, 10,000 horrible demons, reaching out to you. You reach back, then withdraw, then scream, I hate you! You're not a talisman or a charm! You don't harbor any impenetrable secrets or unfathomable spells! You're just a worthless mirror! And in destroying it, you feel ashamed. And in your shame, you see yourself. And in seeing, you understand. Of course, Master, you cry. Of course. It is what it is. Just a silly, maddening, absolutely ordinary. Oh, crap! Oh, crap, Stephen. Such a mundane utterance from the Sorcerer Supreme. I'd expected Biciterax Crimson Bands, or Vipers of Valtor, or what was your other favorite? Ah, yes, Shades of the Seraphim. But, oh, crap! Most unimaginative. Although I suppose you can be forgiven this slight transgression under the circumstances. Being suddenly thrust with no warning into a dimension as peculiar and powerful as this could shake even the mightiest oak to its roots. Yet in your confusion and alarm there is a gentle elation as well. You grasp for meaning and find personal glory. I have passed the Ancient One's test, you surmise, in realizing that the mirror was just that and nothing more. I have had the gateway to a new realm of being opened to me. An interesting interpretation of events. But you, of all men, know that reality has more skins than a snake. Each skin a new truth, each truth a new illusion. Hear me, Doctor Strange. God is a magician. Reality his trick. And it is all done with mirrors. The universe becomes glass around you. Light and heat and white infinity. A chorus of voices thunders in your mind. Your consciousness splinters. Your soul cracks. There is a fullness. Then a void. And from the void, a word. Shamballa. Shamballa, where history is dictated, human events molded, where the souls of history's greatest masters are said to dwell, and watch, and guide mankind. You have heard the ancient legends, but never dreamt that such a place existed outside the realm of myth and parable. Yet here you are, drifting awestruck and insignificant through the constantly shifting landscape. Before you floats a column, a tower, more consciousness than form. The unified being of the Lords of Shamballa. They speak to you, these lords, in words that are not words, in symbols and sounds, scents and textures. Your mind grasps, but the words remain unintelligible. Your heart opens, and all becomes clear. We call upon you, say the wordless words, to perform a special task. What is it you feel, inside you, around you? The earth stands upon the verge of a golden age, an era when selfishness and contention will vanish, when selflessness and harmony will abound. A presence, so bright, so strong, a magic, so familiar. But this golden age must be preceded by disaster, purification, purge. What prophets, religions, saints, sects, and seers have foretold, the Lords of Shamballa now decree. The same magic that touched you all those weeks ago in the Himalayas. A cataclysm beyond imagining will leave this world a ravaged wasteland, burying the old humanity and birthing the new. His magic, the Ancient One's magic. We have chosen you, Doctor Strange, as our agent. There is a spell you must cast, a 3-part spell, which only an adept of your skills can complete. When it is done, the final cataclysm will be unleashed, and the Golden Age will dawn. The Ancient One, you realize, is here. When he left his body, he must have been absorbed into the cosmic body of the Shamballese Lords. Behold, command the Lords, and you see the earth consumed by fire and disease. Behold, and you watch 3/4 of humanity die. Awestruck, you witness the slow rebuilding as the scattered survivors sow the seed from which a new race springs. A race that ultimately attains the perfection humankind has so long sought. Behold! And paradise is revealed. Why, then, do you feel sickened by this glimpse into man's future? Why do you want to turn and run, abandoning the mystic for the human? Oh, Master! You call, unsure where to focus your eyes. I cannot do this! Is any paradise worth so much destruction, so much death? Then you hear language as you know it. Gentle, unshakable, familiar. Have faith, child. Do what is asked of you. Master? Say yes, child. Say... Master! Yes.